dude.
Alright mate, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Hey, what's in the show this week?
Well, we've got those two crazy new Mercedes. We've got the that Tesla, electric Tesla saloon. That's cool.
Don't forget, Alistair, he was driving the Audi All-Road.
Oh yeah, and you were driving the old Audi, you know, that new Seat?
Yeah, the Exeo. Yeah. Anyway, let me turn this round then I can give you a race.
AMG has revealed its latest Thunder Saloon. The canny Bosch have bolted a 6.2 litre, 518 brake horsepower V8 into the new Mercedes E-Class and fitted it with a double clutch gearbox called AMG Speed Shift MCT. There's even a race start mode, so you can do 0 to 60 in just 4.4 seconds. And if that isn't crazy enough, Mercedes has also unveiled the F-Cell Roadster. Developed by 150 students, it combines F1 and fuel cell technology with some heritage features like those ridiculous wagon wheels. Maybe they were drunk.
American company Tesla is getting pretty good at this electric car lark. Last year it developed a two-seater roadster called the Roadster, and although it could out-accelerate a Porsche 911, it cost about as much. However, this year, Tesla has released the Model S, a fully electric, 7-seater saloon that'll do 60 miles an hour in 5.5 seconds, will recharge its batteries in 4 hours, and cost about 35 grand. Now that is more like it.
If you fancy the look of that new Golf GTI we drove last week, but don't fancy the fuel builds, how about this new GTD version? It looks pretty similar to the GTI, but behind that honeycomb grille sits a 170 horsepower 2-litre diesel engine. So it can hit 60 miles an hour in a pretty average 8.1 seconds, but unlike the GTI, it can do 53.3 miles to the gallon. I think we'll have to reserve judgment until we've driven this one.
In other news, Honda kicked off its new environmental ad campaign with yet another amazing advert, this time for the new petrol electric Insight. Now before you get on your high horse thinking, oh that's not very green, having hundreds of Insights parked up creating cool animated shapes, the creative agency behind it would like to point out they use just a handful of cars and a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Shine, shine, shine.
Another week and yet another Audi niche model. This time it's the A4 Allroad, the car for the man who can't quite bring himself to buy a Q5 SUV. This is basically an A4 Avant with standard Quattro 4-wheel drive, a 37mm increase in ride height and an extra couple of grand on the price. But let's not get too cynical. This is a genuinely good car with a great interior, decent engines, especially the 3-litre diesel, and an extra bolt of versatility. It costs from just under 30k, so it'll sit alongside the A4 Avant and Saloon, the Q5, the A5, the A5 Cabriolet, and the TT Coupe and Roadster in Audi's colossal range.
And if you can't quite afford an Audi badge on the bonnet, why don't you get yourself an Audi with a Seat badge on the bonnet? It's called the Exeo and it's based on the last generation A4.
Now before you start thinking the Exeo has been completely built from a load of hand-me-downs, you should know that the front and rear ends are new, the suspension's bespoke, and the engines are bang up to date. Prices are going to start from a little over £17,000, and that includes things like dual zone climate control and Bluetooth connectivity as standard.
So is the Seat Exeo like owning an Audi on the cheap? Well, bottom line, yeah, it's not as good to drive as a Mondeo, but the fit, finish and level of standard specification makes it definitely worth considering.
It was a dream week for New Boys Brawn GP, who took an historic 1-2 victory at the Melbourne Grand Prix. Jenson Button came on first, backed up by his teammate Rubens Barrichello. Well done lads, blimey, what a comeback. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton had a shocking weekend and was later disqualified for telling fibs. Naughty boy.
It was a bad week for car bosses. Not only was General Motors CEO of 9 years Rick Wagoner forced to stand down by the Obama administration, Peugeot Citroën also said bon voyage to its chief executive Christian Streif. Streif described the decision to remove him as incomprehensible. Well, he would, wouldn't he?
And it was a terrible week for John as he said goodbye to his Mini. Poor lamb.
Whatever you do, don't miss our car review of the 200-mile-an-hour Bentley GTC Speed.
Don't miss our massive mini gallery as we get ready to celebrate this design icon's 50th birthday.
And don't miss a Sky Motoring Sobfest as John gives back his Mini Clubman.